Hey guys, in today's video we're going to have a little bit of fun and build up this A7S III here with a cage and a couple other little accessories. So the cage is going to help us protect the camera, plus give us a lot more mounting options around it. So I mostly use my camera as a stationary on a tripod kind of filming, but if I do need to take it off, we do have some help with that with the accessory. So I think the first thing we'll start off with is this camera cage, and all of these things here are by SmallRig. Let's get the seal here. So SmallRig here has some pretty good stuff for Sony cameras. I bought a cage before for the A6500 and I really liked it. So yeah, this is how it comes packed. It's quite lightweight. I like how they put it in a Ziploc bag. Very nicely packed for just being a cage. So yeah, and this is the whole thing here. So nothing too special. So yeah, it's quite an interesting design. The finish on it is kind of shiny a bit, which is fine. We've got some markings here, front and back. Now they do have a couple threads here up front, and I think these will accommodate an adapter if you were going to use one of those. And also it looks like here where the battery door is, they also have like a little cutout here for a strap or something. And also a pretty interesting connection here of some sort. Got a cold shoe and lots of 1/4 inch threads everywhere, and the larger 3/8 also. There is a nice rubber pad here for the camera to sit on. We got a little tiny bolt here that goes through the right side of this eye loop here, so we will have to take this off. And on the bottom of the cage, you guys can see we do have a little tool here that actually magnetizes on there, it looks like. So yeah, there's like some magnets, and it literally just holds it by magnetizing. Very cool. So it'll never get lost and always available. And one of the ends has the Allen wrench for this little bolt here. Just go ahead and take it off. And also a flat driver to tighten the main bolt here underneath to the camera. So before we open these up, let's put them to the side and go ahead and install our camera into the cage. So first things first, we need to take this little strap off here. So there's a little plastic piece that pops off, and now we can work this thing out. And it's like a triangle keychain, basically all it is. So it actually comes off not too hard. And there we go. So now we just need to put these away so we don't lose them. So now our camera should fit in the cage perfectly, and the mount's gonna line up here. So let's go ahead and start our bolt underneath. And now we'll grab our bolt that was here, get the little tool out, and it's gonna go through the camera into the cage. Tighten that up a bit, not too tight, small little bolt. And yeah, now our camera is very secure, and it's not gonna, go side to side because it's held by one of the ears here on the side. So now we can go on the bottom and tighten this big bolt up, nice and tight. And then we'll put our wrench back. Very cool. So yeah, simple as that. Our cage is on, and this is what it looks like. So it seems to fit pretty good overall. This space here is quite large. I'm not sure why it's that high, but I guess it's for clearance here. But we have really good access to the shutter button, but more importantly, there is access to the record button here. So it is a little harder to get to, but not a big deal technically. I mean, my whole finger fits under there, so you can get to it quite easy. You just kind of have to go from the front and in a little bit, but not as bad as it looks. And also the custom C2 here is pretty easy to reach. So holding it like this is not that big of a deal. And also you can reprogram the shutter button to be the record button also. Now one thing that could be a big deal is this knob here, because you have to push it while turning it. That part is not comfortable at all, to be honest. You have to use two hands, use one to push and then one to turn. And even then it's hard. So yeah, I normally don't turn this often, so for me it's not a big deal, but if you use this a lot, then this cage does not seem to be very good for that. So, and then the exposure dial, a little hard to get to, but if you do use this, it might be a little annoying. This dial here, easy, and our hot shoe here is quite open. So yeah, other than that, everything is fine. So let's look at the SD card door here. Yeah, that opens up really nicely. No issues there. And then all of our ports here, we got access, no issues, as you guys can see. So now going to the bottom, we got the battery door, and that's quite important because I take out my battery a lot to charge it. So that opens up, and there's plenty of room to pull it out and put it back in. So yeah, that part's fine. So yeah, other than the record button here and mostly this big dial that's really hard to turn the way it is, it's pretty good overall design. And it looks pretty good too. I'm not too crazy about this piece here. For some reason it seems a little floaty and kind of sticks out a lot past the camera, but it's not bad looking or anything. Technically it doesn't really matter how it looks, but yeah, you do have plenty of mounting here, and it is out of the way from the main hot shoe, which is quite important. So let's go ahead and connect our lens to this. So I got the Sigma 24-70. And this is what it looks like with the lens. So this is quite a large lens, so yeah, it kind of tips it down too. But yeah, actually, this part over here all of a sudden seems to match a lot better now that the lens is on. So yeah, overall looking pretty good. And I like how they got this wrap around here, so you can still handhold it, and it's quite comfortable because of the shape here. So yeah, now with the lens and the cage, we're getting a little heavy. So the other two things I got are kind of like just accessories. This might be more useful than the small box. But here we have a SmallRig Big Dream top handle. Also comes in similar packaging. So they have a few different kind. I went ahead and went with the rubber one because I feel like it would be more comfortable. I don't really need to mount too many things on my camera, so I decided that this probably would work out better for me. So we have an aluminum bracket here, and then we have some plastic clamps, rubber handle with more plastic on the back. So it does feel a little bit more on the cheaper side, but that might be to save some weight also, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's not too heavy and feels pretty good overall. So the mounting bracket here mounts right on top of the cage here on two of these bolts. So either forward or backwards. I guess I'm going to go more towards the back. Now if you do need your hot shoe for anything, this might be in the way. There is some room between the handle and the hot shoe, but not very much depending on what you're using. And so this handle covers up pretty much all of these things here. And then if we do use the handle, it's going to cover up a lot of our mounting points here, including this larger one. Yeah, it depends on how you're rigging it out and what you use it for, you know. You might want the handle or not. So, but it does come with an Allen wrench and a couple bolts. So let's say we're going to use it here. Stand it up. We'll use the wrench to tighten it up. So yeah, technically, you know, if you need to take it off, it could be a pretty quick 2 bolts and it's off. And you will have to carry this wrench with you though. All right, so now we got our handle, and yeah, that's pretty nice. Now we can carry it around and actually film with it. Now on the handle, we do get, you know, more mounting points here, and we also get a little cold shoe here up top if we had anything else we wanted to mount. So now we have one here and then one here, and then we still have our original hot shoe, but then again, there's not much room here, so depending on what you use it for. All right, so for the last box here, this is more of a convenience for the HDMI cable, and it's simply just an extension adapter. And it's the kind that you can mount to the cage itself. So instead of plugging in the HDMI straight to the camera all the time, you would have this permanently plugged in, and then you can plug into this for the monitor. So when you need it, you plug it in, and then when you don't, you plug it out, and that way you don't wear out your original port there. So yeah, simply just gonna plug in into the camera, and then the other side we just need to figure out where we're going to put it. I guess at this point I'm not too sure because we don't have our monitor on, so let's go ahead and grab this monitor I have. So this is a newer A7S, I think it's what it's called. Yeah, that is what it's called, A7S. Very weird, but and I bought this thing a few years ago. It is kind of old and bulky, but that's what I'm using for now. And I don't always use the monitor because the A7S III here does have a flip out screen that points to the front, but a lot of times I'm not filming myself, so I'll just point it up like this, or you know, depends what I'm filming. Could be just straight up and I'll film like that. So but in any case, let's go ahead and mount this monitor. I guess it's gonna now have to live up here on the handle. So I don't know if I like that too much or not. I guess it doesn't really matter if it's just, you know, gonna sit on a tripod anyways. But yeah, I do have a pretty short HDMI cable. So now we just need to figure out where to connect this. Unfortunately, it's pretty short itself, so it's not gonna be able to get to over here. So I'm thinking it just needs to mount somewhere right here on the side. And then this cable can it reach? Yeah, it'll be barely reaching. So this HDMI adapter also comes with an Allen wrench. So let's go ahead and try to mount it right here. All right, so that looks really good right here. So there's a little cap we need to take off. And now our HDMI cable from the monitor can plug in. Just like that. So yeah, overall I'd say pretty good. And plus, you know, depending on which way you face your monitor, so if you face your monitor towards yourself, you know, obviously then you're not gonna really have any kind of stretching if you do have a shorter cable. So either way it works for me here. And obviously if I'm filming this way and I want to have the monitor, it's going to be pointing my way. But a lot of times it's on a tripod and I need to see what I'm filming, so it's flipped around the other way, pointing to the front. But it does work either way. So yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with this. Now I also use wireless mics, which I have here. It's a transmitter and it can mount on a cold shoe or hot shoe. So maybe I'll keep it here right underneath the handle. Well, it might be a little bit in the way, honestly. So probably okay for tripod, but let's just go to our cold shoe here on the side. That fits nicely in there and technically not in the way of the buttons to push record. And then we'll run our wire to the mic input. And there we go. So yeah, that's pretty much everything except for one more thing, which will have to go on the bottom. Let's go to this side here. And that's going to be the plate to mount to the tripod. So with this connector plate that I got, it has two bolts, a smaller and a larger one. And it looks like the SmallRig Cage here accommodates a larger and smaller one. So this is going to work out really good because it's going to make it a lot more stable. So let's see if we can still use this wrench here. Oh, before I tighten it, let me see if I can. Oh yeah, look at that. It still fits in there. Very cool. Didn't think it was going to fit, but it's like a perfect fit. Well, let's go ahead and tighten this up really good. We can put our wrench back. Now we got the tripod mount on the bottom. So let's go ahead and try to put it on the tripod. Just slide in. And there we go. So yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with it. I think it turned out pretty good. And this is where the camera is going to mostly live, on this tripod. Now I don't know if it's always going to be like this. I mean, this is just my initial construction here, but I think as time goes by I might adjust certain things to certain places, or you know, add or subtract a few things here and there. But overall I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And the more I think about it, the more I like this handle, because when I do need to grab it off the tripod, it's nothing going to be too complicated. Just slide it out and it's ready to go. And then when I need to put it back, it's quick. So yeah, pretty cool. Alright guys, well hopefully you enjoyed this video of the SmallRig Cage, the handle, and this little HDMI adapter. So if you have an A7S III and you want to pick up a cage for yourself, or even these other parts here, I'm going to have some links in the description. Check that out. And if you enjoyed this video, then hit that like button. And if you enjoy videos like this, I do a lot of interesting things on this channel, so stay tuned for more. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.